Hello, all you beautiful people. I'm honored to be here. My name is Donna Shefflin Bell. I'm a child Holocaust survivor. You are looking at a miracle. It is a miracle I survived. It is a miracle that one Jew survived. I was born in Warsaw, Poland in 1938 to a beautiful, prominent, educated family of 400. Only 3 of us survived. I was the first grandchild on both sides of the family. As you can imagine, it was a joyous occasion. It was the best of times for our family. Only 1 year later, it became the worst of times. When Hitler invaded Poland, my parents took me and began to run and hide, paying off Polish farmers to hide us. We were being hunted like animals by the Germans. We were being sentenced to death without committing any crime. After running and hiding and living under horrendous conditions, we finally arrived in Białystok, a city close to the Russian border. After we were hiding for a while, the Germans made a pact with the Russians. The Russians would feed the German soldiers, and the Germans would give them part of Poland. Białystok became a Russian city, and all Polish citizens were arrested and asked to become Russian citizens. Because my father refused to give up his Polish citizenship, he was considered to be a traitor, and we were shipped off to a forced labor camp in Siberia in cattle cars. This was a forestry camp. Inmates there had to work chopping down trees from early morning to late in the evening in terrible weather conditions and meager food rations. Watery soup and 1 slice of stale bread had to sustain the workers all day. These were fine, educated people. Many died when falling trees hit them. They were also dying from starvation and disease. When we arrived at the labor camp, we were told to get used to this life since this is where we would live and die. I remember walking over dead bodies. I was 4 years old. There were no concentration camps here, but there were other ways of killing us, by overwork and starvation. How we survived is a miracle. After going through many incredible hardships and being separated from my parents, I ended up in a Russian Orthodox church orphanage. I was always starving and scared because I didn't know if I would ever see my parents again. By pure chance, we were reunited. When the war ended and we returned to Poland, the real nightmare struck us. We realized then that all our extended family had been murdered in cold blood. The Nazis didn't only murder 6 million Jews. They murdered 38 million. They murdered the future children and grandchildren, generations that would never be. We ended up in a DP camp, displaced persons camp, in Austria. We lived there in barracks for 2 years. We still lived in fear since there were booby-trapped toys being put into the camps, and many children were killed while picking them up. I lost a friend. She was blown to pieces. Anti-Semitism didn't end. I had no extended family, no grandparents, no aunts, no uncles or cousins. I was overjoyed when my little sister was born in the DP camp. After living there for 2 years, we finally got visas to go to Canada. We had to start all over again. We didn't speak the language, we had no money, and we were in a strange country, not knowing anyone. My parents struggled. One day at a holiday table, my father commented that our table was empty and that all our family was gone. Eventually, I got married and had 2 children. My sister also married and had 3 children. One day as we sat at a holiday table, my father said, "Our table is getting full again." We never had any demands of our country. We were grateful to be alive and live in a free country. We were so happy and proud to become Canadians. Unfortunately, the world has not learned from the Holocaust. Ethnic cleansing and tribal murders are sobering reminders that senseless killing based on hatred and intolerance still go on. while the world suffers a lot, not only because of the violence of bad people, but because of the silence of the good people. It is our duty as Canadians, whose rights of freedom of speech and religion are protected, to speak against intolerance and hatred, so as never to allow such atrocities to happen again. We use a phrase in Hebrew, tikkun olam, meaning to heal the world. The world will only start to heal when parents and teachers start to teach children to love instead of hate. May your tables always be full. Thank you.